Hello. Well, as you can see, I'm clearly not at home. I'm here at Charlotte's Atrium's neurosurgery recovery, where I just 10 days ago had a very, very serious neck operation that probably saved my life. Certainly, I would say saved my life. I'd returned to the States to complete immune therapy, and that it was fine. And I was getting ready to go back to South Africa for more treatment. Actually, I had a flight booked for November 12th, I believe. But that got cancelled because I just got this sudden onset of agonizing pain in my shoulders and my neck. My whole shoulder froze up. And I thought, oh man, I've got a herniated disc or this or that. You know, who knows what you got, right? And then they did an MRI and realized that I've got cancer, or I had cancer so severely in my C4 vertebra that the doctor said it literally looked like my vertebra was moth-eaten and about to crumble. And C3 was extensively damaged, as was C5. And that this pain that came out of the blue was because my vertebra literally could not support my head anymore. And then there was also cancer down the back of that spine. So it was the mercy of God, because had I, pushed off to South Africa dragging a heavy suitcase, they basically said if my head had tipped forward, I would have probably broken my neck. So that's kind of like the worst case scenario. And of course, being agonized, I was in no shape to fly. And I just have to say, glory to God, He has worked out everything. Because of the severity of my case, I was immediately hospitalized. I did have a little bit of a wait because they wanted to put me with the best neurosurgeon. And I got the best, like one of the absolute best neurosurgeons out there. So the Lord just organized it. It's so incredible. What He did is they obviously went through the front. Then they had to drill out that vertebral body and drill out all the cancer, and then put a spacer in, because there was, like I say, no bone to actually hold the weight of my head. It was just the craziest thing. And then, pins through the front, and then I went in through the back, drilled the back of the cancer out the back of the spine, and then put plates and screws and pins, and then rods down to C2 and C6, which, it's amazing. I can turn my head. I can't flex up and down as much, but the cancer never penetrated C2, which means I have a nice stable bone to secure the hardware to, and it never penetrated C6, which means at the bottom end, my neck is actually in very stable, good shape right now. I have this fantastic titanium neck because they basically rebuilt the whole thing. And I'm just so incredibly grateful to God how it worked out. They admitted me, and my case, I've got a caseworker working on Medicaid to pay, Medicaid part to pay for the actual hospitalization and the surgery as well. So that's a huge blessing. And the timing of, there's so many details I could get into about the timing of how this went. So of course, not an easy recovery, but I've been in good hands. And last week, my children and I celebrated Thanksgiving. Sarah came down from DC and joined us, and we were just here. And I have to say, for me, it was the greatest Thanksgiving of my life, because God spared me, and I dodged a bullet, a huge bullet, and I'm really doing amazing. I asked my physician assistant afterwards, pardon me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious is this operation? How risky, how life-threatening, how complex? And she goes, oh, it's a 9.5. So I guess in for a penny, in for a pound. If you're going to do it, you may as well go all the way. But I can only joke about that. I mean, that's not funny at all, but I can only joke about that because my outcome has been so incredible. The Lord blessed me with literally one of the best neurosurgeons in the country in a great hospital. So I don't know exactly how long. I think it's about a 10-inch incision down my back, my neck, and then whatever this is. But you know what? I'm happy. I don't care about a little bit of scarring, because the beautiful thing is we're going to do some limited radiation, very targeted on, there's still cancer in the rest of my spine, but they've got a very targeted high frequency, low dose radiation they want to do, and that's going to be amazing. So all of this has come together, and I just want to say thank you for everybody for their prayers. You know, there's a time for the alternative treatment that I did in South Africa, which also saved my life, and I couldn't have gotten that here. But then there's a time for this kind of, I needed this. But then what I'm very excited about is after we've done, you know, that, there is the most incredible rehab opportunity for me in Indiana, where my friend lives, who's a former NASA engineer and machinist, and he's just an absolutely brilliant engineer. And one of the reasons I was going back to South Africa was because there's a lot of things like hyperbaric oxygen, intravenous ozone saunas, Rife machine. You can get Rife machine here, but not that great. And then, you know, just access to this, to these additional technologies that make a big impact on cancer. And so he's invited me to come and stay with him. He's got his own Rife machine that he built, a vacuum Rife machine. He's got his own hyperbaric oxygen, all this equipment that I needed. And then on top of that, he is one of the world's leading aquaponic growers he literally grows food for medicine. Doctors prescribe his superfoods, and, you know, combined with the other medicinal things that I'm doing, following the radiation. I think it's a really good thing. Let the radiation deal with a very targeted cancer. I still have to deal then with the reality of what's going on in the rest of my body. The good news is, of course, with the extensive imaging, is that other than the neck, the other tumors have been stable. So that's great. And I feel like the Lord just sequenced this exactly, because I'm also going to be going on another very specialized protocol. I won't take time to explain it now, but I'm really feeling like the Lord has just navigated this for me in profound ways, helped me navigate. So I am going to be going up to Indiana to stay there for a while, and then to use all this equipment that's there, plus his specialized superfood that he grows. Plus he also has, and this is not hype, this is the truth, the world's leading bone regeneration solution, which I won't take time to explain how and why he has that, but I'm going to be on the world's best bone regeneration, so that I can get all of this bone that was taken out regenerated. Basically, I've got ground up cadaver bone in there at the moment, but you know, I'm going to be growing my own super bones fast enough. So I can feel that God's hand is carrying me, and has carried me, and has brought every single solution. Of course, I'm not able to work while I'm in this shape, and I will be having expenses, you know, with all these treatments and stuff. So if you're able to help me with another donation, you've been so kind. That would be phenomenal. And I'm just in a good place with the Lord. I'm in a good place with just seeing what he's doing. And we're in, I think wonderful things are happening in the world. So I'm encouraged. All right. Thank you guys so much. Bless you. And I'll write maybe a little bit more of an actual update. Thanks now.